Hello my dear children. So let's continue with what we were doing in the last class. Well, up till last class we studied four very important pillars of electrostatics. And these four pillars of electrostatics are: number 1 force, number 2 electric field intensity, number 3 electric potential, and number 4 electric potential energy. So what are these four pillars? Let us see them once again before we proceed ahead. Well, this force between 2 point charges, which is 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 by r square, was found out using Coulomb's law. Then in the field of charge, we found out intensity at different points. And the electric field intensity at any point in an electric field is force acting over plus 1 Coulomb charge there. And electric field intensity is 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q by r square. Electric potential is another very important, physical quantity associated with each and every point in an electric field, and that is defined as work done in bringing unit charge from infinity to that point. So electric potential at any point in the electric field is work done in bringing unit charge from infinity to that point. And its expression is 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q by r. And finally we found out potential energy. Potential energy of any charge is work done in bringing that very charge from infinity to that point in the field. Well, the expression is 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 by r. Well, force and intensity, they are vector quantities, whereas potential and potential energy, they are scalar quantities. Force and energy, they are charge functions. What does this mean? Force is charge function, energy is charge function. That simply means the value of force and energy is defined for various charges in the field. Never ever there would be a question where it would be asked to find out the force at any point. No. Force is always going to be found out over any charge. Of course at any point, but it is not a point function, it is charge function. Its values are defined for charges. Likewise, energy is also found out for charges, not over points. Whereas intensity and potential, they are point functions. Their values are always defined for various points in the field. So at each and every point in the field of a charge, we have a distinct value of electric field intensity and electric potential. Never ever its value would be asked to be found over any charge. These are not charge functions, they are point functions. Their values are defined for various points in the field. Well, the topic of the day is Lorentz electric force. Lorentz electric force. Children, Lorentz electric force is force acting over charge in an electric field. What is the expression of force? See, we have already studied that electric field intensity is force acting over unit charge. E is force acting over unit charge. We know this. If we cross multiply, what do we get? F is equal to Q naught times E. That means force acting over any charge, Q naught in electric field, E is Q naught into E. This is what is Lorentz electric force. Well, the force depends upon only value of charge and the value of, and of course, electric field intensity. No other factor. Well, for positive charges, this is vector notation of the force. For positive charge, we can put positive sign here. So F vector is going to be plus 2 times E. So this plus sign here indicates that this force vector and electric field vectors are what? Parallel vectors. That means over positive charges, the force is in the same direction as is the direction of field. Magnitude of force is QE, the product of charge and electric field intensity, but the direction is parallel to electric field intensity. If the charge happens to be negative, we put a negative sign here. This negative sign here in the vector notation denotes that force and electric field vectors are what? Anti-parallel. Therefore, force over any negative charge in an electric field is always opposite to the direction of the field. If this happens to be the electric field, see, if this happens to be the electric field and if we place a positive charge, this is uniform electric field. So the force over this positive charge would be in the direction parallel to the field. value of the force would be Q into electric field if Q is the charge over here. And if this charge is negative, if charge happens to be negative, the force is going to be QE, but the direction of force is going to be opposite of the direction of electric field. Positive charges would move always parallel to the field. Electrons would move opposite of the electric field as they are negative charges. Well, the motion of the charged particle is accelerated. Force is QE, and we know that force is equal to mass into acceleration. So if we equate force QE with ma, we get A, acceleration of the charged particle in the electric field, and this acceleration is QE by m. That means the motion of the charged particle is accelerated. And what happens because of acceleration? There is increase of speed of the charged particle in the direction of acceleration. That is the direction of electric field intensity. So, since there is acceleration present in the motion is non-uniform, speed increases at the rate A in the direction of electric field. And the trajectory of the charged particle is what? Parabolic. If this happens to be electric field intensity in the vertically downward direction, well, acceleration would also be in the vertically downward direction. And if we project the charged particle at certain angle from this x-axis, say horizontal, this is vertical, the charged particle would move on parabolic path. So this motion is similar to the motion of charged particle, any mass in say gravitational field. Last year you have studied motion in 2 dimensions, parabolic path the charged particle moves upon. Any stone, any object projected in gravity moves on parabolic path. So somewhat similar, or say exactly similar, is the motion of charged particle in electric field. I have children intensely taken the direction of electric field along vertical, so that you can compare it with the parabolic motion which you studied last year for any mass moving in gravity. If the charged particle enters at any angle other than 0 and 180, the path is going to be parabolic. If the charged particle enters along or anti-parallel or opposite of the electric field, the motion would remain rectilinear. It will move along straight line path. But at any angle other than 0 and 180, it is going to move on parabolic path, like the motion of a mass in gravity. Well, right now we are going to study one more definition of electric field intensity. Children, we will be studying 3 definitions of electric field intensity. One we have already studied, one we are going to study, and one more we will study in the coming lectures. As per this second definition of electric field intensity is called as negative electric potential gradient. Earlier we have studied electric field as force acting over unit charge, and the third definition would be electric flux density. So as per this definition, electric field intensity is negative electric potential gradient. Mathematically it is written as E is equal to minus dV by dr. Minus means decrease or fall. dV means change of potential. dr means distance. So decrease of potential per unit distance. So the fact is, in every electric field, as we move along electric line of force, electric potential decreases. If this is electric line of force or the direction of electric field, here the potential is V1, here the electric potential is V2, here the electric potential is V3. So as we move along ELF, the value of electric potential decreases continuously, and this decrease per unit distance is what is called as electric field intensity or negative potential gradient. Well, let us work on a proof for it. There are 2 ways you can prove it. One is mental proof, which you won't have to write in your exam. Another is the formal derivation, which you are going to write when asked in the examination. So what is this mental proof? The mental proof is V is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught 2 by r. We know it. Differentiate V with respect to r. The differential of 1 upon r is going to be minus 1 upon r square. Put negative sign here, and once you put negative sign, what do we get? Right hand side has q upon 4 pi epsilon naught r square, and we get E. So this is your E, this is V, this is E. You differentiate V put negative sign and you will get E. This is mental proof. But this mental proof is not going to fetch you any mark. If it is asked in the exam, you have to do this formal derivation. Well, what is this? What is the assumption in this formal derivation? We have a point charge Q and another point charge Q naught is approaching this point charge from infinity. So this is Q naught charge approaching this point charge Q from infinity. At any instant 1, this Q naught is at a distance R from Q. And at the very next instant 2, this Q naught is found at a distance R minus dr from Q. And this is displacement dr. This dr is so small so that it tends to 0. The time lag between 1 and 2 is tending to 0. So this displacement is also going to be tending to 0. Now when this charge Q naught is at a distance R from Q, the force over this charge is what? Q naught into E1. Q naught, say E1 is the electric field here and E2 is the electric field here. So when Q naught is here, the force over this Q naught would be charge into electric field intensity, and when the charge particle Q naught reaches point 2 where electric field is E2, the force will be what? Q naught into E2, and the separation between them is dr. Now see, this force F1 and this force F2, they can be assumed to be equal to each other, and is equal to F. Why? Because the separation between these 2 points is what? dr, which tends to 0. Also electric field at 1 and electric field intensity at 2, they are also equal to each other. Why are they equal to each other? Because the separation between these 2 points 1 and 2 is what? dr, and that tends to 0. So F1 is equal to F2 is equal to F, and that can be written as Q naught into E over dr. Why? Because dr tends to 0. So what is work done for this very small displacement? Work done for this very small displacement would be what? Dot product of force and displacement vector. Force and displacement vector. Force as usual is what? Towards right. By default we take the sign of the charges as what? Positive. So this Q naught is positive, Q is positive. They are like charges, they will repel each other. So the force, the constant force which acts in between 1 and 2 is towards right. The force and displacements are anti-parallel vector. Therefore, F dr is going to be what? F into dr into cos of 180. And cos of 180 is what? Minus 1. And because of F and dr being anti-parallel vector, we get a negative sign here. Now let us substitute the value of F. When we substitute the value of F as Q naught into E, we get it as minus Q naught E into dr. Now we can change the side of Q naught. dw by Q naught is equal to minus E dr. dw by Q naught is equal to minus E into dr. What is dw by Q naught? dw by Q naught is nothing but potential difference between 1 and 2. What is V1 here? The potential here. The potential at this point 1 will be work done in bringing unit charge from infinity to this point. What is work done in bringing unit charge to point number 2? That is the potential of this point. The difference of these two work per unit charge is dw, and that is what is the potential difference between 1 and 2. So dw by Q naught is difference of work done in moving unit charge from infinity to these 2 points. So dw by Q naught is potential difference between 1 and 2. And if we substitute this potential difference here, what do we get? We get dV is equal to minus E dr. Right here, dV. dV is equal to minus E dr. And if we change the side of dr and minus sign, what do we get? E is equal to minus dV by dr. So this is the formal derivation, and this is the expression of electric field intensity as negative potential gradient. Well, one thing very important, some of you must have noticed it, and that is also very astonishing. See, V is a scalar quantity, we are differentiating it, and we are getting what? E. E is a vector quantity. Does this ever happen? No. When we differentiate a scalar quantity, we get a scalar quantity. When we differentiate a vector quantity, we always get a vector quantity. But what is happening here is entirely different. We are differentiating a scalar quantity and we are getting a vector quantity. Isn't it astonishing? So why it is happening? We are differentiating a scalar quantity and we are getting a vector quantity. This is simply because of a special operator in action here, and that special operator is called as del operator. So this d by dr is a special operator and it is a vector operator, and by virtue of this vector operator, this scalar quantity is converted into a vector quantity. And what is this del operator? This del operator is d by dr, and this del operator is written as d by dx times I cap, del by del y times j cap, del by del z times k cap. These are the sign of partial differentiations. This is a vector operator, this is a special operator, this is called del operator. It always operates upon scalar functions and converts those scalar functions into what? Vector functions. So E is equal to minus del V. We operate V here over this del operator. This del operator operates over V with negative sign. What do we get? Del by del x of V I cap, del by del x del y times j plus del by del z times k with negative sign. So there are, I'm telling you this del operator simply because there are some very good quality numericals in all good textbooks based on this operator. And if you have basic idea of differentiation, you can work out every numerical based on del operator. And these numericals you will find in Concept of Physics S.C. Verma. You will find such numericals in Rusnik and Halliday, and you will find out such numericals in I.E. Irodo, a very popular question bank. So you can try out questions based on del operator from various textbooks. So with this we come to the end of today's class. We will continue beyond this point and meet very shortly. Thank you very much and God bless you all.